Since the introduction of the MMP electoral system, the major parties of New Zealand's politics have relied on minor parties to form a majority in Parliament. These partnerships can be grouped into two categories: moderating partnerships and radicalizing partnerships. In a moderating partnership, one of the major parties works with parties that are more moderate and closer to the centre. In a radicalizing partnership, the major party works with parties that are more radical and extreme. Moderating partnerships have been the norm. New Zealand First has been a hallmark of such governments. Winston has worked with Jim Bolger, Helen Clark, Jacinda Ardern, and now Christopher Luxon. A similar role has been filled by United Future and even the Maori Party before they lost their sanity. It seems now radicalizing partnerships have become the norm. Sensible middle ground parties that could work with either side are becoming less and less relevant. ACT has become the natural partner of National, and the Greens have become the natural partner of Labour. Politics has become more polarised. It is understood that when either of these major parties forms a government, the smaller, more extreme party will be there and will pull the government further in their political direction, which is to say, away from the centre. New Zealanders are generally relatively politically moderate and pretty wary of the extremes, although this is arguably slowly changing. This is why we have had very mediocre tame governments for so long. In my view, moderating partnerships are significantly more electorally viable at present. They appeal to voters from the other side of the spectrum and make opposition to the government significantly less aggressive. There is no doubt that the left would have hated John Key a lot more if the Maori Party was not in government. There is no doubt the right wing would have hated Jacinda Ardern a lot more if Winston Peters was not in her government. And indeed, this was proven to be the case when he was voted out and her popularity rapidly began to implode. Electorally, forming a partnership with a party closer to the centre can be far more beneficial to the major parties. It makes them far more appealing to the other side. And even if they do not vote for you, they will be less likely to view you as a major threat and put effort into removing you. These governments maintain greater broad appeal. The fact that ACT has more power than New Zealand First has badly damaged the current government in my view, as has New Zealand First's attempts to court the far right. This has made the government look relatively extreme. Of course, the exact same thing will happen if Labour forms a coalition with the Greens and the Maori Party. These partnerships quickly lose any popular appeal. The power of the minor parties becomes a lot more evident. Voters are willing to tolerate a government that is more moderate than expected. They have little patience for a government that is more extreme than expected. Keeping these strategic realities in mind is very important. MMP has made political strategy a lot more complicated than it once was.